Welcome to Cyber Safety Week in media. So, the very first media lesson we did this school year talked about how media is any way of communicating to a big audience, so mass communication. So, any means of mass communication can be considered media. And the internet is definitely a big part of media. And so, a part of being in the media center every year is learning how to stay safe when we are online. And this usually happens right before we start doing research in the media center. So, if that kind of gives you a clue as to what we could be looking at, and in some oncoming weeks, we will be starting some research. And so, I want you guys to know how to stay safe online in order to go and explore and research for yourself. Okay, so I have a couple of different things going on this board, and I wanted it to look like a creepy alley where you need to stay safe. And we've got Batman there, and we've got this little robber up top, and I'm like peeking over going, ooh, even though it doesn't really look like me. But there are a couple of things I want to point out to you. So for my at-home learners, right here is this footprint. All of these footprints I individually laid. Sorry, I tried to make it to where it linked to all the footprints, but it only linked to this footprint. So this is the slide, this is the slideshow that I'm teaching in class. And you can go through it and learn the key points of the lesson that we're using, and also watch a video that goes along with the lesson. It's from Common Sense Media, and it tells you basically that no matter what, when you go online, you are going to leave a digital trail. And so that's why I have all these footprints. You leave footprints behind. And we want to know how to leave the best footprints possible. We don't want to leave too much information. We want to leave the right kind of information. And so this slideshow talks about how there's a difference between private information and personal information. So private information is stuff that just belongs to you, like your name and your address and your phone number, your school, how old you are. Those things belong just to you. So if I said my name is Whitney Whitfield, would people know the name to try to find me by? Yes, they would. But if I said people call me Whit, would they necessarily know how to find me? No, because there's probably hundreds of Whits in the world. I could say my favorite color is pink. Would that be considered private information that's just about me? Or was that personal information that is about me but could be about anyone else too? So that's definitely an example of personal information that is about me but anyone else too. So there's that big difference in private and personal information in that way. And we never want to share that information that's private that could identify exactly us. Information like your favorite things or your hobbies or your interests, those are different. Now, we do talk about in class how if I said my favorite food is pizza, there's a lot of people that like pizza, right? So nobody could pinpoint me from that. But if I said my favorite food is pizza from Slice House in Huntersville, the Huntersville Slice House is the best. Well, that narrows it down to where people could actually realize, oh, well, her name is Whitney, and she must live in Huntersville if she eats at that Slice House pizza in Huntersville. That narrows it down a little bit more. So those are the kind of things you want to avoid online. But just saying pizza, that's great. Okay, so that's what this slideshow takes you through. And then there's a video in this slideshow. If you don't want to go through the slideshow, the video is also linked right here with these footprints. For all my grade levels, watching this Batman video, it's not actually Batman, but a superhero does come in and save the day. It's really good to help you to understand why we don't want to give out the wrong kind of information. And on this video, they actually remember how I said there's a difference between private and personal information? And we don't ever want to give out that private information, but personal information is a little bit different as long as we don't share the private information with it. In this video where Batman is, they actually call private information personal information. So I don't want that to confuse you, that they say you should never share personal information online. Since the slideshow down here, we have two different kinds of information, private and personal. But I think once you do the slideshow and then you hop over to Batman, it'll be really easy to say, oh, I could totally tell you my favorite color is pink, but I'm not going to tell you my name. I'm not going to tell you what school I go to, but I totally can say my favorite football team is Alabama, Roll Tide. Anyway, so yes, and this is, if you don't watch anything else on the board, this is the one that I would watch, especially to help us recognize why we don't share the wrong kind of information online. Up here, this little guy, I have linked a cyberbullying video to, and it just explains what is cyberbullying. I've been holding this out for my 3rd and 4th grade classes because my kinders, 1st and 2nd graders don't typically have to deal with cyberbullying because they don't have that kind of access to online. And 3rd and 4th graders don't usually have that kind of access to like a social media platform online either, but they're getting older. And so I just like to go ahead and start having those conversations with them. Speaking of 3rd and 4th graders, right here, if you click on the laptop, the FBI does an amazing cyber safety web quest. So I'm going to click into it to show you. So they have islands. They have all the way, I think they're 8th grade. Yep. But my 3rd graders do the 3rd grade island and my 4th graders do the 4th grade island. And it just takes you through this fun little like gaming feel. We'll go into 3rd grade and explore for a second. It takes you through this fun little gaming feel, and you go through each of these modules to learn about staying safe online. And by the time you're at the end, you're glorious. Now, you can take a quiz when you're done, but I feel like just completing the modules is good enough that I'm not going to suggest that you take the quiz. Okay. And the FBI provides that, and I think that's just such a wonderful resource. So I use it every year for my 3rd and 4th graders. Now, fun stuff. The cat is a read aloud called Clicker the Cat. Clicker the Cat is obsessed with his online time, and DigiDog is trying to show him that there are other fun things in life than just being on a screen all the time. So that's a great read aloud. The Bowl is an awesome read aloud too about, I love this one. It's called #Goldilocks. And so Goldilocks becomes pretty obsessed with getting likes on social media. And so this is more so, I show this to my 3rd and 4th graders. She really, really wants people to follow her social media pages and give her likes. And so the story of Goldilocks, right? She breaks into the bears' houses and eats their porridge and breaks their chairs and sleeps in their bed. That story never really resonated with me as a child because I was like, why would you go into somebody's house? Like, why would she do that? Like, this just random. Nobody would go into someone's house. Well, actually, I like this story the best of any Goldilocks story because it gives you a background of why she's going to go into this house. It's because she wants to get more likes on her, I think, Instagram account or something. And so she thinks if she does something shocking and daring, like breaking into someone's house, she's going to get more likes. And oh my gosh, like it definitely shows you what not to want out of social media. Like that's just kind of ridiculous. And in a way that you step back and go, oh my gosh, why would you break into a house for likes? But it does put the story of Goldilocks into a perspective for me that I never understood as a child. Like, why would you even think to go into someone's house to begin with? Oh, you're doing it so you get Instagram likes? Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Anyway, so I love this story. This set of books right here is just like a cute like online awareness video. The little boy is trying to play an online game, and you know how if you're playing like games for free, you get so many ads popping up on your screen all the time. He gets ads popping up on the screen, accidentally clicks on one, and then kind of panics because then he just gets bombarded with stuff. So, and that's just a short little clip just to say, hey, if you have trouble online, get an adult. And then these two actually link to the same thing. I'm so sorry. I thought I had linked them to different things. But it is a book called, I don't even remember what the book is called, but it's about fairy tale characters getting a hold of a laptop. And then they go shopping because they're super excited. And then they get the bill. Anyway, because it's really easy to shop online, right? But it just doesn't even feel like you're spending money when you do it, but you really are. So I think it's a great way to show kids, hey, you can't just go online and think that you can buy stuff. We've had problems with that in my own house about just, hey, yes, purchase. And then somehow they get past all the passwords and all the blocks. And then it's like, where did this purchase come from? Anyway, so this is a good read aloud for my own kids. I hope you enjoy this board. I hope that it imparts some good knowledge for you guys and that you will be super ready to start our research unit in the spring. So we're not going to start the research unit until the spring, but I like to go ahead and do this prior. Between now and the research unit, we'll have some other fun boards, and it's always good to know how to stay safe online, especially when you're clicking into different things. So happy November, stay safe online, and I'll see you guys next week.